on the road, and I'm like, what can I do a video on, and why should we worry, and why should we do the two reasons why we should do commercial. And so there is two really good reasons why we should go commercial, and I'm going to talk a little we'll talk a little bit about commercial, and I'm going to show you some things on this building of bidding wise. We got some apartment complexes over here and how we can bid these, and just some ways that we can get commercial work. So that way, I'm going to just let you know something here. We are in a good season right now of May, and we're ending up in May. We're going to be in June. But for a lot of people, our residential work is going to actually slow down come July and August. It will slow down. Everybody's on vacation. Everybody is, everybody's off work, taking vacations, going out of town. And since things are opening up, last year, a lot of people, I think, spent a lot of money at home. I think you're going to see a lot of people traveling. I'm staying here, and we have this hotel, this hotel, this hotel, and there's one back behind that. It's a Holiday Inn and a Hampton Inn on a Sunday night, Memorial Day weekend, and every hotel is completely booked, 100%. So this is some reasons why we need to get our commercial work. And so I'll talk a few ways of getting commercial work and some things, but I also want to hit on how to bid it. So first, we'll talk about how to get commercial work. So there's about three ways we can get commercial work. The first way to get commercial work is door knocking, going up, knocking on doors, going into these hotels, seeing if we can find different people, seeing if we can find different people over here in these condos. I still remember walking in Robin's office. That is a local. She has, I think it was 13 buildings, and that is definitely something that I did to be able to get that. And I worked for her for 7, 8 years, the whole entire time. Every year, she would at least give me anywhere from $10,000. Well, that was the high end. Anywhere from about $2,000 to $3,000 to $10,000 a year, depending on what I was doing. So let's get. So that is one way: door knocking, networking, things like that. That is one way to get business. Networking is a great way to get commercial work. Networking as in person to person, and networking as in LinkedIn. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. LinkedIn can definitely get us a lot of commercial work. LinkedIn is probably one of my favorite ways to get a lot of work through LinkedIn. We can do a little bit of work on LinkedIn, and we can get in front of a lot of people. We can put our searches into property managers, facility managers, trying to think of some other ones of job titles. These places here, this place right here is probably managed by a property management company. So around us, we have the property management company called, can't think of the name of it. I've been out in the sun all day, so my brain might be fried a little bit. But I can get on LinkedIn, and I can find that company, and I can find every list of every one of the property managers. And I can get their emails too. So that's even better part of it. So then what I do is I can sit there, I can send them a message, I can post, I can share things, and that way people can see that kind of stuff. So LinkedIn is a great networking tool. So we talked about in-person networking. We talked about LinkedIn is an amazing thing. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars doing big commercial work. Now, I don't always like just doing commercial work. I ran 4 trucks in the spring, April, May, and June. I tried to run 3 residential and 1 commercial. And then June, July, and August, I tried to run 3 commercial trucks and 1 residential truck. I love residential and the fact that it is definitely something for you to have cash flow. You know, when we're getting to be these big jobs, you will come to find out, and I'm going to show you some things on this building here of, you know, you're going to have a lot of cost, and some of these places don't like to pay until 30 to 90 days. And so, you know, I tried to do net 10, net 15, but they don't always give you net 15, and you would have to fight for it. The biggest amount of money we owed in receivables at one time was like $75,000. Now, when you're trying to make payroll and you're trying to do all these other things and you're owed $75,000 from jobs you've done and you're waiting on that money, so that's why I like the residential side of the thing of keeping cash flow, so that way we can keep payroll going, we can keep our business going and things like that. So again, networking, LinkedIn, and you can actually do these two together. So let's say I walk in to this hotel here and I get a hold of the manager, and the manager gives me to the person that I need, and I talk to that person. Well, then I can go follow them up on LinkedIn. So then I get another touch to this person. And then whenever I post things about me cleaning big buildings like this and me doing big buildings and condos like this and roofs like this, then he will see that, hey, this guy knows what he's doing with pressure washing. And so that's some reasons why on LinkedIn it is really important that we're showing that we're doing big jobs like this and big jobs like this. And yes, you can do big jobs like this. I want to talk a little bit more about it, but yes, you can do big jobs like this. So number one, again, LinkedIn that. And then the last thing that I use to do to get big jobs like this is I did email marketing. Email marketing is an amazing way to be able to get work. There's different ways you can get those emails. If you join your local apartment association is one way. You can join BOMA, B-O-M-A is another thing. Some of these organizations are going to cost money, but you get their email list. You can go do things with them. And so, you know, the one contract, you can, who knows what you can make off one of them. Now, and you'd be amazed what a little 12 volt will do with a full battery. And that is 100% true, because I want to hit on equipment too, but I may wait on that side of it of what equipment do we need this? Do we need a $30,000 rig to clean this, or can we clean this with something less than that? And I want to talk about that too. But before we get there, let's get done with the marketing side of things, because if we can't marketing and we can't get those jobs, then it does us no good to be able to worry about equipment. Well, Jason, don't you need equipment to get that? You'd be surprised what I've cleaned these big buildings with. 12 volt, my biggest building I ever cleaned was 12 stories tall, and it's a 135-foot lift, and I did it with a 12 volt and an 8-gallon a minute. We soaped it on the way up, and we rinsed it on the way down. And so, you know, and we did sections of this building, and we thought it was going to take way longer than what it actually did. And so it's not that hard when you're looking at it. So email marketing is a great way to get this stuff. You can buy lists, you can do different things of trying to get email marketing and stuff like that. So let's talk about how do we bid a job like this? How would we bid something like this? I get this a lot. How do I bid a building like this? Well, first thing we need to do is can we reach it? So generally speaking, not always, but from the first floor to here is generally going to be either 10 or 12 feet tall. So if we go easy math, this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 50, 60 feet tall right now. So Could I hit that with my 12 volt? No, I'm not going to be able to hit that from the ground with my 12 volt. So I'm going to have to rent a lift if I'm going to have to do it with a 12 volt. And even if there's some dirty stuff way up here, I'm probably going to need a lift. So I'm going to need a 60-foot lift. So I'm going to see, all right, well, how long do I think it's going to take me to clean this big building here? Well, I think that I could do at least 1.5 sides in a day. Honestly, if I had the equipment and I made sure all the cars were out of the way, it would probably be a 2-day job is what this would be, maybe 3. So I could bid it at 3 and with my lift and everything like that. We do have some cameras here, so we got to watch these cameras right there because cameras can be bad if we screw those cameras up, right? So we don't want to screw cameras up. Usually the lettering's up here, there's nothing dirty around that I would worry about. There is the little awning, but usually it's designed to keep water out, so I don't get too crazy about that. And then, and the other things that I would have to worry about is, and this is another upcharge that I can upcharge some more, is the window cleaning. Now, the 2-3 days I was talking about doesn't include the window cleaning. The window cleaning is probably going to take me that long, if not more. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could go get the reach it, the 40-foot or the 50-foot pole, and I could clean every one of these windows from the ground, the exterior of these windows from the ground. So this is another thing that we can do so that way we can get our jobs up there. And again, just like Jason put there, remember, my first elephant, they are not as big as you think. If you have a good plan and get after it, you can do it. And how do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? One bite at a time is how we clean this job. Now, how do I bid this job? Well, I'm going to think, how long is this job going to take me? And if I think this job is going to take me 3 days, we're going to go with 3 days. 3 days, 3 8-hour days, 24 hours. And I'm going to times that by either $200 or $300. But then I'm also going to add my lift rental to it, so that way I don't get stuck with that. And that's going to be my cost. That's kind of how I bid this stuff. I don't bid, well, I'm at my residential housing. I bid that stuff at 25 cents a square foot. This building's 175 million square feet. Now I want $1 million to clean a building this big. Now, you might find one sucker in a million, but you're not going to find too many of those suckers. If you want to get a lot of commercial work, that's why I try to bid it by the job. How long is it going to take me to clean this one section here? How long is it going to take to clean this side? How long, that kind of thing. These roofs over here, they have black on them, right? They all got black. Let's just say that this had if this had vinyl siding all along. A lot of them have vinyl siding all the way down through there. So how long do you think it would take me to clean that one apartment building? I could probably clean 2 of those a day. If I had an 8-gallon a minute by myself, I could clean 2 of those a day is where I would be at. Okay, 2 a day, 2 a day, that's 4 hours, $1,200, either $800 to $1,200 for this building here to clean the vinyl siding all the way across. I do 2 of them. They got 50 of these. Now I'm talking money, right? That's that's why I love commercial, because, again, when we're dealing with apartment complexes and apartment buildings, that's how we do it. And honestly, I could probably do 3 of those a day, because most of the time they'll be one building here and one building here. I can park right in the middle of this building here, and I could clean both of those buildings on a lot of these big apartment complexes. This apartment complex here is just one of many. There's rows of these all the way down through there of this where I'm at right now. So this is some things that we can do. Now you might say, well, Jason, they'll never pay that much. Here's the thing about HOAs, or not HOAs, apartment buildings. If they get Section 8, which is government funding, they get inspected twice a year. And if they fail government inspection, they don't get their money. And guess what? They want their money. Now, a lot of times, if you come knocking on these people's doors, you may not get it this year. A lot of this commercial work is next year. They'll put it in next year's budget, and then we can do that. So when we're talking commercial, we can say, what is your budget? Don't be afraid to ask what their budget is, because if their budget's low, then I can't hit it for that. Now, I've had some people, Jason Hefner had a guy that said, I'm able to do $3,000 or $5,000-$10,000. I can sign off of it. So if we need to make it 3 different jobs, we can do that too. Okay, your bid will be $2,999 or $4,999. So that way you can get that bid and then just do it in 3 different tiers of that. So again, these here, we shoot them from the ground. You basically, a lot of times when I'm dealing with apartment complexes, I am going and getting my my hydrants, a hydrant meter from your local water municipality or water company, and you can get a hydrant, and then you can tie right into the hydrant, and that is it. And this is a good point what Jason put there. Sow the seeds, keep after it. Again, when I'm talking about LinkedIn and we get one of these big jobs, guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be showing how we clean big buildings like this. We're going to put it on our website. We're going to put it on our Facebook. We're going to put it in our Google My Business. We're going to put it in LinkedIn. Yeah, we're going to put it in all those spots, remember? Because when we're cleaning these big jobs, it's not about today. It's about next week, the week after that, month after that. We have to keep marketing. We're going to be marketing. We're going to say, man, look at these nasty roofs. We can clean them for you. Marketing. Look, my guys are pressure washing. We use low pressure. We don't damage your shingles. You already got some shingles damaged there. I don't know if you can see it now. It's kind of right here. There's some shingles missing there. So what am I going to do on that? I'm going to take my before pictures just like I do that. And with a big job like this, guess what else I'm going to do? I'm going to get me a good drone picture. I might hire a photographer to get professional pictures so that way they look really good. Because when we do that, that's what sets us apart. That's what gets us things. But Jason, it costs money to get a professional photographer. It costs money to get a videographer. Well, let's think about that. What if you made more money because you have professional photos, you have professional video, you have something along those ways, and that is what it's all about. And no, I'm not trying to do $100 an hour, because $100 an hour on a building like this, I'm not going to be profitable. Time I pay for my bleach, my gas, all my equipment, all that kind of stuff. This is why I would want to be at least $200 to $300 an hour. And when I originally did it, I was $200 an hour. In the end, I was $300 an hour. Why? I had employees, I have workers' comp, I have all that other stuff. And you know what? I get lots of jobs. You know what? You can get lots of jobs too. That's the beautiful thing about dealing with apartment complexes and big buildings. That is the amazing thing. $300 an hour, no problem. Drone pics and videos are definitely worth it. You are 100%, because we can show that in our area that we are the master of doing this stuff. We can clean everything from you. We can clean your house all the way up to this. And again, this here, it's not that hard to clean. You get on a lift, we can go all the way around this whole building on a lift and clean every bit of it. Now, what if you don't know how to run a lift? Go to your local rental place, and a lot of times they have classes for free that they will teach you and do OSHA, whatever it is for the lift. And they will show you how to run a lift. They will show you how to run it, operate it, get certified. And even if it costs you $100, $200, that's how you get that. That's how we get these bigger jobs. That's how we do these bigger jobs. That's how we get the apartment complexes. That's how we get the rabbits. As the rabbits going. across here. Kind of scared me a little bit. Sorry about getting off track here, but you can see the roofs here. We got this one here. There's some more roofs down through here. There's another one, and they're just all lined up through here. And so that is the amazing thing about doing commercial work. Commercial work is definitely a way. Now, there's other things we can do with commercial. I personally like the doing the buildings and that. Another thing we can do is there's a doggy running it. This is why we got rabbits running everywhere. But I think that another thing we can do is do route work. You know, we can come here and we can clean all the concrete around the building once a quarter, once a month. We can clean the dumpster pads. We can do all of that kind of thing, and that is another thing that we can do. And the good thing about that is usually it's quarterly, monthly, so it's reoccurring revenue. Our average ticket is not going to be as high because our long-time ROI of that is going to be a lot less than that. But just remember, if you're doing garbage stuff, that stuff is nasty. You can't let that stuff go down in the drains. And yes, even on a lot of your commercial, especially, you know, if you let this stuff go down in the drains, you got to do a reclaim, or at least try to do a reclaim, because that can get you in trouble. I've never had issues with the building sidewalks. We're only there we're only there 2 or 3 days and we're gone. So I don't have a lot of issues with that type of stuff. If we're coming in here and doing dumpsters once a month, there's a lot of wastewater and nastiness is going out of there, and that can be an issue. So those are some things that you got to look at to make sure that we are not messing up and screwing up in doing that. You can get your own drone and take videos and pictures in HD. That way you don't have to be paying someone when you can do it in drones. A good investment. You are right, and the only thing I'm going to tell you about that is if you can find somebody that can do it professionally and do a really good job of presenting you a lot better than you can, and you can focus on things that you need to focus on, it comes back to the book Who Not How. It's not, I know how to do everything, but that's only going to allow me to get so far. If I know how to put the right who's in place, they can do it 10 times, 100 times better than I ever could. Yes, I could have some pretty cool drone footage and stuff, but they could have amazing drone footage. And the difference between good drone footage and amazing drone footage might be another $100,000, $200,000 jobs, because they gave you amazing drone footage. I'm not saying I did plenty of it myself. I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying a lot of times we get into this habit of thinking, oh, well, I can do it myself just as good. But here's the other thing. Then it takes you 10 hours to do it, 20 hours to do it. Well, what if you paid somebody, $500 and they did it and it looks 10 times better, but it didn't take you 20 hours. At that 20 hours, now you can put into something else at the end of the day. The main goal is getting the opportunity to bid. That means you have a horse in the race. More horses equals more wins. I am really a one-man show right now. So how many guys would it take to do a job that size? So a job this size, you would at least need one helper. You need one guy on the ground, and you got to have one guy in the bucket at least. The big job we did it with 2. I've done big jobs by myself, but anytime I get a lift, I want an extra person. You got to have an extra person. OSHA says you got to have somebody on the ground, all of that good stuff at the end of the day. These buildings here, I've done by myself many times. Go in, one truck, one guy, and let him have at it. It is better if you have a couple guys on something like this so you can get it done faster, but I've done it with one guy and no problem. 8 gallon a minute. 8 gallon a minute with a 12 volt, and it's mostly the 8 gallon a minute. But again, these here, you can do the building siding, the roofs, the carports, all the concrete, the breezeways if they have it. All of that can be charged, and that's a lot of, and some of these bids are going to take a lot to be able to get those jobs, but there is a lot of money that you can make doing, this stuff here and then this stuff here. All 200 signs showed up, had old lumber, and made 80 tall sign posts that won't bend or blow away. I'm new at this. Time is money, 100%. I'm really a one-man show. I did my local mobile gas station, $2,500. Yep. Take before and after pictures, especially of the work near the business sign. 25 hours at $100. You did the entire building for $2,500 plus lift rental. That's low, my guy. I didn't say $100 an hour. I said $200 to $300 an hour is what I said. And here's the thing, $300 an hour, and I can do it. Can I charge more than that? Maybe. A lot of times you can't, because you got guys out there that'll do it for $100 an hour, and that's what it is. I can be profitable at $300 an hour. I can be profitable if with not a lot of overhead at $200 an hour. If I got employees and stuff, I'm going to have to be at $300 an hour, so that way I can still be profitable. If I can get a $2,000 day, $3,000 day out of a commercial truck, that's pretty freaking good. I don't care who you are at the end of the day. And if this is a 3,000, a large job, that's how we can make some money. Mark Murphy, hi Jason, great live tonight. I talked about you last week on my last live. I don't know if you heard it or not. Talking about one of your big old competitors up there, and I kind of went through his website and everything. Oh, and how his bidding strategy is of Mr. Perfect Power Wash. He was talking about how they bid $1,800 and then they will come and undercut $600 and beat any competitor by $200 or $300. And actually, I started going through their reviews, and that was a lot of the 1-stars were all talking about that same thing. How do you get your first job? Go door knocking. Go do LinkedIn. Go do. That's gonna, if you can do email list, that's the best way to get this stuff. Networking, all of that stuff. Same stuff still going on. Oh, I know it is, dude. Like I say, there was another competitor. He's actually in the Cleveland area and was telling me about that. And so I started, and there was another guy chimed in saying the same thing, that, they come out $1,800, they'll bid it at $1,200, $1,800 for a house wash. And then the competitor will be at $600 and they'll drop their price to $400. But, it goes back to numbers, and that's how they get it. How do you advertise to get commercial jobs? Just what I said. LinkedIn, email marketing, in-person networking, all of that kind of stuff. That's how, going to your local apartment association, going to your BOOMA association, all of that. What are some good locations for yard signs? I've been trying to find good placement for them. I like anywhere. I put them at any intersection I can put them at. Is flyers a good start? It's okay. Just bought lunch. Just bought a bunch of stuff to start this weekend. Code texting working. It could. And that's something that's a good point there. Is that Lou? I don't know if that's Lou or not. A lot of times, like your shopping centers, I didn't hit on that. We got some shopping centers up here in the front. If there's an availability, if I can't talk, the availability sign, a lot of time that sign will have a lot of great information on it. It'll have a name. It'll have a number, it'll have an email address, and we can do what he just said there, is text that number and see if we can get a text back from that. So that's another way to get information of who owns the building or who is the property manager of that building. And guess what else we can do? We can see that name on that availability sign, and we can go and we can say, hey, Mr. LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. Hey, Mr. Jones, I see you are on the sign here, blah, 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 blah. It needs cleaned. Can I, here's an estimate for it. That's another way we can do that for sure. So texting is a way to get that also. I watched that whole building for $99. I leave written estimates with businesses in my area. That's a good way to do it. It's not a bad thing at all. 94 people watching, only 12 thumbs up. Need more thumbs up, fellas. Dog gotta eat. Yep. You just roll in and leave an estimate. Yep. Hope everyone is having a great season. Yes, Luz. Thinking about buying cell phone list, cold text, and anyone doing it. It's not a bad idea. I wonder if you could get a list of that for the side. And here's the thing, you could do that also with apartment complexes and stuff like that, but that's probably going to be a landline, so that's not going to work as good. But that's how I did it, was email marketing by list, or go, there's other ways you can do it. You can go out there and scrape, you can pay, I used Upwork. I knew the websites that I wanted. I'd go on Upwork and find somebody that would scrape emails off of a website, and I'd pay them $200-300, and they'd give me a whole bunch of stuff off of there. So that's how I was able to get the email list so that I could grow the commercial side of business. Is the yard sign a better investment than flyers? Because I had some good success leaving my card in the homeowner's doors, but not sure if I should print. I like yard signs. I can put a yard sign out and it might get seen by 10,000 people. If I put a door hanger just on the door, it only gets seen by one person. So that's why I like yard signs. I had way better success. The only thing I got out of door hangers was about 20,000 steps, and didn't lose no weight over it, and I got hot and sweaty and didn't even get a job out of it. Starting my pressure washing my family and friends' properties for free this week and weekend. Excited to learn something new. So who is that? Brian. So this is what I want you to do, Brian. I don't want you to just go yard sign price, no price. I don't want you to go and just wash those houses and that's it. If you've checked out pressurewashhelp.com/free and got the 30 days free, and do the 25 steps to the perfect house wash, the reason why I want you to do that is so that way you can make sure you get your pictures. Make sure that you're getting the stuff that you need so you can put into the Google My Business. Take lots of pictures. I mean, lots and lots of pictures. Take it before, take it during, take it after. Take those pictures and put them, just get lots of pictures. So that way we can start putting those pictures. When you do the driveway, take pictures before, after, during, you doing the work. And even if it's your first job and you suck at it and you don't feel comfortable, take lots of pictures, take videos, take your cell phone and put it on time lapse. Do different things so that way you can do that. If you have a helper or your wife, she can take pictures of you as you're cleaning. So that way you can put those pictures up and that will help you out later on. I make it rain with flyers. Jason makes it rain as in it will literally rain in Florida when he puts flyers out every day. Try Melissa. I use the company for EDDM. So far, so good for addresses and numbers. And that's melissadata.com. The goal is for pictures. Just get lots of pictures, get experience, that kind of stuff. That way, you get those pictures That's what's gold, because then that way we can start putting it in our Google My Business. We can take it from our Google My Business. We can put it in Facebook. We can schedule out posts in Facebook. We can schedule out posts in LinkedIn. We can schedule out posts in different things, so that way it's going to help you and keep going. And like I say, I remember my first pictures, and I thought they suck. I probably still think they suck, but they are still out there. They bought, it goes back to talking about that sign, talking about that picture. All it takes is that one picture, that one postcard, that one yard sign, that one business card that you handed out, and it can make you $200,000. Benjamin from Open at Xenia, Ohio, had an employee pass out a business card, and that business card was worth over $250,000. One business card worth $250,000. So that's why it's important. You don't know who might see that one sign, and you do awesome, amazing work, what one sign could really do for you. So that is why we need to do these things, so that way we can make sure that we are doing the things that we need to do. I drove around different neighborhoods to scout potential work, and it was great experience to know who I should market to. But do you really know who you should market to? Are you marketing to because they're dirty houses, or are you marketing because they clean their houses, they get their lawn done, they do the things of that? You see that they have vinyl. Because just because you see a bunch of dirty houses, that means they don't pay to get them cleaned. We want to go where all the clean houses are, because that means they pay to get them clean. I talked to, actually, I've had two people this year tell me, DJ went to a house and felt bad. The house was clean, but they were excited and ecstatic that it was clean when it was done. I talked to Mike down in Lexington. He's like, Jason, as long as I've been cleaning these houses, he's like, I've never seen one this clean, even after it was clean. And this dude came out and was ecstatic of how clean his house was. Yeah, it wasn't a dirty house. We look for the people that are willing to pay for those houses. That's what we're looking for. So those are some things that we're looking for, not, well, these are all the dirty houses. Do we really want the dirty houses, or do we want the clean houses? Them are the ones we want. People that are willing to pay. What do you know? What do you do when brick pavers have moss and cracks? Do you go through every seam and get all the moss and dirt out? I tell the customers that the pavers for bad for pavers. So actually, I did a video on this. A couple weeks ago. It's how to clean and seal paver patios. The only thing that I would probably change in that video is instead of where, I lay a pretty thick roof mix in to help kill all that moss. Usually I take a surface cleaner over it, and then you can actually take a turbo nozzle and get the whatever's left. Now, you really do need to re-sand those things, because what happens is, I don't know if I'm gonna, well, if we have pavers that have cracks in them like this, and the sand is gone, that allows those pavers to turn. So when the sand is all the way full in those pavers, it binds those pavers, so that way they can't move on you. And so that's why it is important that we re-sand those pavers, and that way we can make sure that that's good for them. I talk to people and they don't know you can clean a house. So you got to educate people, and this is why we don't use pressure washing terms. This is why we don't use terms of house washing. This is why we don't use terms of soft washing a lot of times, because that is an industrial standard terms. We got to use what they're saying. On our website, we got to use what they're saying. So if they're typing in pressure washing, we got to talk about pressure washing. I know we soft wash, and that's how we clean, but we have to educate that customer. But to educate that customer, we got to use the words that they're using to do that. If you can get one of these people in a neighborhood with dirty houses to let you clean it, you may start a domino effect with the neighbors. People like to play, they like to play with them in the clean houses. I've been around this business long enough to know, you got to know your area. You got to know who you're dealing with, all of that kind of thing. Because just because you are doing what you think you need to do, that's not always the case. So them are some things that you got to deal with, and why you got to do that. Big shortage on paver sealing, having a really tough getting my hands on it. Mark, I would call Lonnie Shook with Trident. They have some stuff that you can use too down there, and they do have it as of right now. I do know that the colors are starting to get hard, though, is the only issue. I always keep business cards and my postcards with me. I have a little storage bin. I keep them in whenever I can. I hand out business cards and I meet people. And that's the biggest thing, is meeting people, networking, talking. Go find people of who you're dealing with. That is the important part. Figure out where we need to go. What are the things we need to do? Definitely need to do that. Ever use polymandic sand? I used to use it all the time, but the stuff we use, you don't have to use it a lot of times. Thanks for your knowledge, Jason. My second customer ever almost paid a guy to reside his home, and I cleaned it in 2 hours and double. He went nuts. He was also on disability, so he was worried. So the biggest thing I want to talk about that a little bit is actually I seen a post the other day, and he was talking about, he had a commercial job and he cleaned the sidewalks and he cleaned the building because they were getting ready to have it repainted, and all it needed was cleaned. And again, a lot of this is showing our before and afters, and we're not pushing, hey, I'm a pressure washer, I'm a pressure washer. We're just showing before and afters. No urethane in the States, really. Or when I drive by something, I'll do a written estimate postcard at the place. SH is hard to find around here lately. Had to find a new source. In-laws is a big time contractor. Lots of friends before my town blew up. We just let them know we won the contract for commercial building. They said we could drop their names. Nah, you can use ours. Might take one flyer hung on the driver's side and been a huge marketing. Jason, I didn't have the cash to make a proper manifold, but I managed to put one together out of garden hose and a splitter. But I'm struggling with the water flow back into the SH. You need one-way check valves. That's the problem with it. Thanks, Jason. Great live video. Been watching you for about 2 years when I started my own business. Thank you. All right, guys, my phone is about to die, so I'm going to have to jump off here. Go check out pressurewashhelp.com/free. That gives you 30 days free. Also, Bobby Walker, and Dan Plata is going to be putting a class together in July 9th and 10th, I believe it is. I don't have the website up, but I want to let you know it. It will be a class that will help you not only learn how to do the pressure washing side, but the business side, because the business side is what is important. I know a lot of times we think the equipment side is important, but I want to tell you something. The equipment side, it does nothing to do with, the equipment side has nothing to do with business. Business is what the important part of it is. So go check that out. And yes, have a great Memorial Day. Tomorrow, remember the ones we have lost. I'm not the best at this, so I was actually listening to a couple different things about Memorial Day and a lot of veterans, and don't go thank a veteran. That's Veterans Day. Tomorrow's day is about the people and the heroes that died in war and didn't make it back home. So make sure we respect those people, we take care of those and remember those people and the people that have lost over this Memorial Day weekend. Things of the past, things that probably are going to happen in the future. So hope you all have an amazing week this week, and I'll be back on here on Thursday, so I'll see you then. Also, you can go check out my podcast. It's at kingofpressurewash.com/podcast. That is the podcast, and it's a great podcast. So if you like listening to podcasts, go check it out. And I'll see you all later.